Hello South African wine lovers, my name is Duncan Masiwa and welcome back to another episode of the South African Wine Industry Professional Body, also known as SAWIPB. If you don't know, it's a groundbreaking initiative spearheaded by South Africa Wine, and it is the first of its kind for the wine industry. And if you're ready to take your wine career to the next level, you definitely want to listen closely. We've been exploring how this initiative will not only impact South Africa's wine industry, but also how you can get involved. Now, in this episode, we have the pleasure of introducing you to Denzel Swarts, a passionate advocate for both the wine industry and also the youth that participate in the sector. Now, as the sales and brand executive at Zoetendal, Vineyards and River Estate, Denzel's dedication knows no bounds. With a rich background as a wine ambassador and brand ambassador, Denzel brings a wealth of experience to his current role. Not only that, he also serves as a board member of the Marketing, Sales and Tourism Council at the South African Wine Industry Professional Body. Denzel, welcome. It's lovely chatting with you.
Thank you very much, Duncan. It's lovely to be here.
Now, you've traveled around the world. If it's not promoting South Africa's wine industry, it's either developing young people. Where does your passion for the wine industry and the youth come from?
Well, Duncan, I grew up as a farm child in Stellenbosch, and that passion started there by seeing my parents and grandparents working in the vineyards, and eventually started saying to myself, this is a career that I want to go into, but it's not the career that I necessarily want to go into as a general worker, but as a specialized worker. And that took me on this new journey of wanting to be in a more senior position, but a specialized position.
Yeah. The son of a farm worker, and to be where you are, it's truly a remarkable story, and I'm sure one that a lot of people can actually look up to. But take us through your journey in South Africa's wine industry, and how did that unfold?
Well, Duncan, when I grew up as a farm child, I really started right at the bottom. I started doing pest control on holiday jobs, eating the vines so that the smells can fall off, buffing glasses, washing toilets, pushing people's wines to their cars, and eventually became a wine advisor in 2012. And that took me on this new journey into wine. And I went out into developmental work, and that's where the passion for young people come in. And in 2011, when I was retrenched, immediately what came to me was that, you know what, wine literally runs through your veins. So why not get back into the wine industry? And I got back, completed my studies. And that's where my career just boomed out to the role that I'm holding today.
You talk about completing your studies and, having done everything that you do in the wine industry. What do you believe, what specific skills or expertise have you developed throughout your career in the wine industry that you feel are most valuable and unique?
Well, Duncan, I think the important thing for me in my career was to get the formal studies. So that was to understand wine from my certificate in wine to my diploma in wine, studying sommelier, but to understand how food and wine combinations work. And as part of that, to do a management course to understand how do you manage a team below you. But the importance for me that came out of all of that was the leadership component that constantly were locked into everything that we do. How do you work with people? And the fact that when we're in the wine industry, especially from a tourism and marketing point of view, you're not just working with your own team, but you're working with external people coming into your environment. And how do we portray and become the best ambassadors for international guests coming to our country? Because that's really, I always say we in the hospitality and marketing part are the glue between primary production, grapes and wine, and eventually the logistics part. And if the glue, which we are, don't capture the people to make them spend, then we're losing the logistics part. And so it became so important that how do we focus? How are we motivated in what we are doing? Are we passionate about what we are doing? And that for me was the most critical part. So once you have that passion, that's when you can also unlock all the other studies that you need to just equip you to better sell, to better market.
I get a sense that you have a passion for developing people within the wine industry. Is that what made you say yes to contribute your skills and expertise to SAWIPB?
Yes, and more yeses. It was very much important for me to understand the development part. If people are motivated, if people are appreciated, then you really get the best from people. And that translates to the sales, that translates to how South Africa wine and how South Africa is being positioned internationally. And so for me, that was the important and is still quite a critical part of what I do day to day.
I mean, growing up on the farm, you've seen all the challenges and the ups and the downs that South Africa's wine industry has gone through over the years. In your opinion, what are some of the key challenges facing the wine industry in terms of marketing and wine tourism? And how do you see those challenges evolving over the future?
Yeah, Duncan, I think over the last couple of years, we've seen how the industry have changed in terms of purchasing, in terms of visitations to farms. And I think we're now in a space where we need to really become more innovative. And that's the challenge. We need to become innovative and inclusive and quite open to kind of sift the industry from a more traditional space to something that's slightly more relaxing, just to get people into the pipeline. And as they come into the pipeline in a more relaxed way, they become the connoisseurs. And then you kind of push them back into the traditional fold of the expertise around wine. And I think for me, the critical thing that we have to do is innovation. And innovation in many factors. How do we sell online? How do we use media to make wine or to break up wine from this stigma of it's very tight and formal to being more relaxed and fashionable?
Yeah.
But also, how do we say to young people that's in tech, you can actually use technology to advance the selling and the marketing of the product once you're done with your studies. So it's not just the traditional methods of you having to go and study and come back and speak to people, but you can actually go and now speak through technology. And I think that for young people, that's the exciting thing, is that they're able to sit on their cell phone and market. So I think that for me is some of the challenges that we have to overcome, but also the opportunity that exists for young people and people in general that wants to get into it.
I love that you said, sort of easing people into the industry, because wine can be quite intimidating. Do you think that's changed over the years? Have we improved?
Yeah, so I think we've improved quite a lot on that over the years. I've seen when I started in the industry, you could count people of color on your hands being in the industry. Now you see a lot more of these young people in the industry and are very aggressive in how they approach the industry and quite relaxed around it. And so for me, seeing that transition has also allowed their peers to be kind of like, if you can wine, I can enjoy wine too. Yeah. So it's actually not such a uptight and very formal thing. And that has changed a lot, which is brilliant to see.
Someone's listening to you now, Denzel, and they want to be a part of the industry that you are so passionate about. What's your message to people that aspire to contribute to the industry's sustainability in a similar way that you do?
Duncan, I think, and I always say this to people, we can teach you skills, but we cannot teach you passion. And if you are passionate about being opening yourself to other people, if you are passionate about what you are doing, then we can equip you. And I think what we are doing with SAWIPB is to really create that career ladder, to say to young people, if you have the passion, here's the guide. Just come along on this journey. And as you develop your skills, that passion automatically will fall right into place. And that's when you really unlock the full potential. And that's what we want to do with what SAWIPB is currently doing, is to ease people into that. But I always say that we cannot teach passion, but we can teach skills.
Yeah. If you looked into your crystal ball, what does the future of South Africa's wine industry look like? And what about that future makes you excited?
I think for me, it's just looking at where it's now and how quick it has evolved. I see an industry that is as colorful as the rainbow flag. I see all these dimensions of new technology together with the old fabric of how we drink wine, how we taste wine, how we enjoy wine, and the tourism offering that we put around it. Food and wine have exploded, and I think South Africa, definitely my crystal ball, in the next 15 years are going to become one of the key players in terms of hospitality and wine tourism in the world. We are already right up there, but we're going to cement and key ourselves into that top 5.
Well, there you have it. Denzel Swarts, the Sales and Brand Executive at Zoetendal Vineyards and River Estate. The sustainability of the wine industry is not just about the vineyards and the environment. It's also about recognizing and investing in the human capital that drives it. This initiative aims to enhance the skills and knowledge and professional growth of those working within the industry, people that look like Denzel, and ultimately ensuring a thriving and sustainable future. Now, it's clear to me that wherever there's wine, there seems to be an enormous amount of progressive thinking. So stay tuned as we delve deeper into this exciting journey.